50 years this year, yeah, and I think we've created quite a lot of interest because we're so fortunate to have the Queen that was crowned in 1971, crowning the Queen of this year. So that really brings the years together, as it were. And there are one or two other queens of throughout the ages of Laxey Fair that are coming along as well to celebrate obviously the rich history of the tradition of Laxey Fair.
You had me for a minute there. I thought you meant Elizabeth II. I was like, good gracious. This should be
missed,
headline
yeah,
news.
Missed out on a scoop somewhere.
We do aim high, but we do aim high. But Laxey Fair does well. But that was a challenge too far this year.
Oh, this year, another year, hopefully. But
Hopefully.
50th anniversary. It's lovely that they're all coming together. And it's what do the queens do now? Because I suppose once upon a time they had more of a role, maybe in the
I think
community.
it's mainly obviously within the school, and the school now choose who the queen. So I think it's probably like a head girl possibly, because it's in the last year of Laxey School, like a head the head girl or something. So I think they're nominated and they're very proud. And as I say, in the programme this year we've kind of left a full page of all the queens blank, so that it gives people a challenge to try and name the queens over the years. So it's just like a bit of a to create this. Everyone's into social history nowadays, so we think it was something to just generate that bit more interest. There's plenty of photographs, obviously, and I think, as they say, a picture speaks 1,000 words. So the more photographs you've got, people to try to recognise who the bygone eras, etc. So that's what we've tried to do.
Oh, that's lovely.
And has the fair changed much over the 50 years, do you think?
I don't think so. I mean, in fairness, what we're trying to celebrate is the culture and heritage of the mining history. So obviously, why would we want to move from that? Because that's what the fair's all about. Harks back to the days of the miners. Also, the fact we're holding on in the Valley Gardens, which was the old washing floors for the mines. We normally obviously sing the Laxey Wheel. We will still be singing the Laxey Wheel keeps turning. Unfortunately, this year, as we know, for reasons beyond our control, it's not quite turning. But at least the new Snaefell wheel that's been erected in the Valley Gardens, that should be turning. So one wheel will be turning in Laxey for the fair day. So that's good.
Oh, great stuff.
It's terrific. And it is something what the whole family can come along, realistically.
There's something for everybody. Yeah, something for everybody. Obviously, children. Many parents are involved because the school children are involved. And then with the other people that have supported us over the years, and they're coming this year, the Ellen Vanning Pipes and Drums, so they've got their supporters, Onken Silver Band, Onken Entertainers, Douglas Baton Twirlers, the Manx Folk Dance Societies. They've all got their own intricate part within the Laxey Fair over the years, and they all bring their own supporters, and it just works very well. It's very holistic, I think, for the community, especially in Laxey and Garth generally.
And you mentioned the school, so what is the school involvement?
Well, the school involvement, they obviously sing and they dress up. That's the key, the critical thing that, obviously, as we all know, once you reach your teenage years, dressing up and walking down the street becomes a bit more of embarrassing to a certain extent.
Absolutely. A certain age.
For Laxey, the children still get really involved and dress up as either a miner or a sweep or a Victorian lady or whatever it may be. So the girls are in frilly dresses, carrying flower baskets, whatever it may be. And the whole school, all years get involved. And then they also rehearse songs, and they do a performance of songs in all their costume and dress. So it's just a fantastic atmosphere, fantastic day.
I could see you dressing up and doing that, Hendo.
Maybe once upon a time.
Are you a Laxey Fair girl? You ever been?
I've been to Laxey Fair, when I was younger. It's a lovely day out, and I think the nicest thing about it is that these young people are dressing up in ways that people have in times gone by, experiencing maybe a bit of entertainment that sort of harkens back to that era, and seeing other people be so enthusiastic as well. It's such a great way to sort of make that spirit of sort of keeping our culture and our history alive contagious. I think it's a lovely way of doing things.
I do think that's important because if you look at how many things have failed, cultural things fail, and even for Laxey Fair, so many people sometimes struggle to get volunteers because obviously we have various stalls for them, charities to raise funds. And over the years that I've been involved, I mean, on some occasions we have had 21, 22, 25 charities stalls, and now that's dwindled dramatically. So we have to encourage, as well as charitable, because we try to be a charitable event, just people that probably what I would class as cottage industries.
Yeah.
They may be working from doing bits and bobs from home, and but it's all part of this social fabric to because otherwise, if things die. And I mean, obviously, people will tell from my accent that I wasn't born here, but when you live here, I think that you're part of the community. So you're trying to, you try to drive to keep things going that mean something to the local populace. So what's the problem in if there's enough enthusiasm out there for someone to just bring all that enthusiasm together, drive it forward, and organise events such as Laxey Fair?
That sounds terrific.
Agreed.
I do seem to remember, I think it was a Laxey Fair year one time, being in Laxey, and there were people dressed up indeed, and it was in the days of Bishop Graham Knowles was a bishop of the Isle of Man, and he was there in full bishop's regalia. And somebody sort of approached him and said, "That's wonderful, you've come as a bishop. That's a terrific outfit." I said, "No,
Great effort, yeah.
I am the bishop."
Well, again, in the programme this year, we've got a full list of all the
the
fair
openers,
openers
yes.
from 1970, right through
Gosh,
today,
it
1971.
goes a
So
long way
if he
back.
did, well, then he'd be on that list. Yeah, we've got that full list. So again, we've tried to make the programme this year actually link back to history as well, so people can relate to it, because if people feel kind of distant from what you're doing, then obviously you've got to try and engage them.
Yeah.
But if you've already got some recent history and you put that in print and they can be part of it, then I think it tends towards a positive event in my view.
Absolutely. So we know it's in Laxey, obviously. Give us some timings then. If people are wanting to go along, where should they go and when?
Yeah, well, the official tram, so we've got a special tram that the railways always organise for us, and that will arrive on Laxey Station at 1:25, and it'll be welcomed by, I'll be there, and Onken Silver Band will be playing, and the school children will be waving the Manx flags to bring, to and welcome the tram. And the Laxey Fair Queen will be on that tram together with various Steve Roden, the Honourable Steve Roden, President Tim, who's opening the fair this year. And we thought that was quite appropriate with being his final year,
Yes.
not only as President Tim, but as Chairman of the Laxey Fair Committee. So we thought, well, that seemed to be an obvious choice, and he was very happy to step up to the plate again. And then roughly about 1:30ish, once the children have all gathered within the Rose Garden areas, which is the new square near the post office, then we parade on the road. All we have to do is we have to wait for we don't want to delay Isle of Man transport, so we wait until the Ramsey bus has passed and the Douglas bus has passed, so they're both well on the way, so that we're not disturbing anyone that may be trying to get somewhere, because obviously the parade does take a while. And then we've got two bands this year, so the pipe band will lead the procession and the Onken Silver Band will bring up the rear, and we all then process into the Valley Gardens, where we have the opening ceremony, crown the Fair Queen, which again will be crowned by the 1971 Queen this year. And then the school children perform, and then we just get into a running programme. So the school children will perform roughly about 2:15, thereabouts. And what we try to do is, because of the topography of the Valley Gardens and the access, steps and things like that, we have a time schedule, but we delay that until the parents and everyone actually gets to the Valley Garden floor, because otherwise, if we just ran with the programme, the people may still be on the road trying to get in because there are so many people.
Of
so
course,
we have to, we've got to be flexible. So we're flexible. So the programme is approximate. And then after, say, about 2:20, 2:30, when the school children then have finished singing, so they're singing for about 10 minutes, quarter of an hour, and then we run into the programme, which will be Onken Silver Band, Onken Entertainers, Ellen Van and Pipes and Drums Band, Baton Twirlers, and Manx Folk Dancing. So that's just a mixture, and if anybody else turns up on the day,
all the better.
Then we can always accommodate an ad hoc event if they so desire.